Lives are changed at the Tavistock Centre, and what happens here has long drawn attention. Questions about how and whether children should be able to reassign their gender. Children like Kira Bell, who never imagined her story would lead her here.
I'm delighted at the judgment of the court today. It was a judgment that will protect vulnerable people. I wish it had been made for me before I embarked on the devastating experiment of puberty blockers. My life would be very different today.
Hi, and welcome to another edition of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. In this video, we're going to be looking at a 20% rise in the number of children seeking gender reassignment that has occurred over the lockdown. So there's a piece here in Breitbart. We're going to take a look at this. So I'll put myself down into the corner and we'll take a look. So the headline reading that the number of children seeking gender reassignment soared by 20% during the UK lockdowns. And we can't imagine why, can we? They're sitting at home, there's lots of screen time, and they're getting pressure from certain lobbies. But we'll have a look at this. The Chinese coronavirus lockdowns in Britain have reportedly coincided with a significant rise in the number of children seeking gender reassignment therapy at the UK's socialised healthcare system. Remember, this is the same NHS that allows biological males onto a female-only ward that then go on to commit rape, and then the NHS lies about it, saying the rape could not have occurred because there were no men on the ward, only women. This is a fact, and I've done a video about this. So it's not surprising that they're targeting children now, because these people do like to get their hands on children. But anyway, we shall move on to this. According to a report from the Mail on Sunday, the number of adolescents seeking gender change treatment at the Tavistock and Portman Trust's Gender Identity Development Service in London, and this is an NHS service, has increased by a staggering 20%, with 5,500 youngsters currently waiting on the list. And it should be pointed out at this point that any gender reassignment is irreversible. That is to say, you can have the bits hacked off or bits put in, and you can have your puberty blocked and everything. But once you do it, you're sterile, and you're sterile for life. There are consequences to this. And is a child suitably aware or mature enough to make a decision at a young age that will affect that child for the rest of his or her life? And if you say they are, then that's fine. But if that's the case, then no child will ever regret it. But we've just seen from that the montage at the front that children are regretting it. And they are suing because they're being pressured into it, rather than seeking other, how can we say, measures. Ultimately, it's a psychological problem. You can do what you like to your body. You can cut bits off, but it doesn't detract from the mental issues. The paper, which uncovered minutes from the controversial branch of the National Health Service, claimed that the number of children on the waiting list increased significantly during the lockdowns, with 4,600 minors on the waiting list prior to the nation shutting down and rising to 5,500. Commenting on a possible correlation between the two, the founder of the Transgender Trend campaign group, Stephanie Davies-Arai, said, "Life stopped really, so adolescents at that stage of their lives, where they're really searching for their identity, turn online. They're bombarded with messages about being trans, and all of their problems, insecurities and anxieties are because they're trans." Which is not true. They're not all their problems because they're trans. Their problems are because society is falling down because of stupid decisions by ministers, and bad parenting, and lack of support, and evil people who want to use children for their own political ends and are pressure grouping them and pressure cooking them into, oh, you must be, you've got any kind of issue, it must be because you're trans, and these people are wrong. According to the minutes from a high-level meetings at the NHS, The Health Service is also allegedly concerned about a connection between the rise in children seeking gender reassignment and the lockdowns, with one senior figure expressing concern that the list has grown substantially during lockdown. So they're admitting that the list is growing because of lockdown, not because of a rise in trans. So there is this, but this is part of the problem. Whistleblower said that girls are deemed transgender by UK Health Service. The NHS is saying that a girl is transgender if she doesn't like pink ribbons and dollies. The Tavistock Trust, the main child gender clinic in England, which needs to be closed, has come under increasing scrutiny for its practices surrounding gender changes for children, including the former governor of the clinic, Dr. David Bell, who has accused the trust of being too quick to assume that young girls are transgender if they exhibit atypical behaviour. There's a focus on very, very superficial surface phenomena and a lack of probing, Dr. Bell said of the clinic, noting that many children may not conform to gender stereotypes and still not be transgender. Last year, Kira Bell sued the Tavistock and Portman NHS Foundation Trust, you saw this in the montage at the beginning, alleging that the Gender Identity Development Service had pressured her into transitioning as a teenager, a decision which she later grew to regret. The High Court found in the high-profile case that a child under the age of 16 should not be given puberty blockers without court authorisation. However, the ruling was later overturned in September of last year because the trans lobby pushed to push their case. And so the trans lobby is still out there to destroy children's lives. The trans lobby want children's lives destroyed. They know if they took the case to court, a lot of the cases, some would get through, but a lot of them would just be no, because the decision is too arbitrary, hasn't been discussed, they haven't done the right counselling, that sort of thing, which doesn't suit the trans lobby at all. More recently, an interim review for NHS England by former President of the Royal College of Paediatrics and Child Health, Dr. Hilary Cass, found that doctors have felt pressured into adopting an unquestioning approach to children seeking gender reassignment. Yet they're being pressured into not questioning it. The trans lobby is saying to doctors, if you question this, you're transphobic. I would suggest, if you don't question it, you should be open to prosecution with an unlimited fines, court time, jail time, everything, because you're destroying a child's life. So you need to take the cautious approach. Not saying it can't be done, not saying it shouldn't be done. I'm saying that there should be psychological counselling, there should be psychiatric testing, there should be a whole plethora of tests that go along with behaviour, identity, all sorts of things. You just can't go there and say, oh, well, if you don't allow this, you're transphobic. Oh, I better align it then. Oh, and sign off on it. Because the evil transphobic doctors that refuse to allow little Johnny to become little Marilyn because he likes playing with dollies. You know. And this is it. They're pressured into it. Now, you have to ask, why do the trans lobby want to destroy children's lives? Surely they're trans. If they're trans, they're trans. That's it. No amount of cajoling can make them trans. So if you get someone who is not actually trans, but who are pressured into changing and reassigning, do these people not sleep at night? I bet they don't, because they're going, we've got another one on the list, we've got another one. Yeah, okay, we've destroyed someone's life, but we've got the numbers are growing, and that makes us more powerful. I think the power needs to be taken from them. But anyway, here we go. Dr. Cass found that medics within the socialised healthcare system felt nervous about offering less invasive treatment to children, resulting in youngsters being put on puberty blockers, which have lifelong consequences, when they could benefit from either waiting or receiving other care. According to the MOS, the majority of children referred for gender reassignment treatment in the early 2010s were born as males. However, currently, females now make up most cases. It is not known why the changes occurred. However, the paper noted experts have claimed that it could be part of a wider mental health crisis facing young girls who are more likely to experience depression, anxiety or commit self-harm than boys. Rowling, God bless her, JK, tip hat. Rowling on trans therapy for kids. She says, We're on the brink of a medical scandal. We are, because what will happen is, and it happens every time things like this happen, is that the pressure groups, in this case the trans lobby, force doctors into doing these things against medical advice, against common sense, and against really the wishes of the doctors, who don't then want to be seen as being, oh, I'm a phobic, oh. And so they do it. You're going to end up with thousands of children regretting. There's going to be class actions. The NHS is going to get sued to smithereens. I hope so. I hope every doctor that does this gets sued individually. I hope the NHS gets sued as an organisation. And I hope it leads to very, very much stronger, tighter laws that ban it and force much, much more control on anything like this, because it is a destructive path. And ultimately, it's not a case of the sex you were born into. It is a mental condition. And if that cannot be accepted, then there's very little hope, because it doesn't matter what you do to your body, you cannot change your mind. Anyway, I shall come up, because this is getting to the end of this now, and I shall round off. Yeah, so I hope very much that far more control is put onto gender reassignment for children. I would like to see the Tavistock Centre actually be closed, because where you have a focus like that, that is a focal point for the lobbies, the trans lobbies, to concentrate all their power and all their might. And so they are targeting this one place so that they can encourage children to destroy themselves. If you're a child and you're a boy, you want to become a girl, and everything comes off, and you go through this, you've had your puberty blocked, you get your force-fed hormones, you know, you've got your boobs, you know, your chin isn't harried like myself, and all this, but you're still not a girl. This is the thing, you're still not a girl. It doesn't matter what you do operationally, you'll never be a girl. Your chromosomes are still male, and you'll just be a boy with a very feminized face. But not feminized forever, because eventually the man comes out, and the musculature and the bone density will tell the shape of your body, even with the hormones. And then what do? You've got nowhere else to go. And if you change your mind and want to go back to being a man, tough. There's nothing there. And they're asking kids of 12, 13 and 14 to make these decisions. And it's just wrong. And this is down to one group that wants to gain power. And it's like any group, and be they religious or political, they do this by looking at the children, because there's nothing more powerful than taking somebody's child. And anyone who needs children to push their aims is a very dangerous individual, or a very dangerous group. But anyway, I shall lighten it now. If you like what you hear and see on this channel, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Ring the bell for notifications for future output. Leave a like, definitely leave a comment. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, and goodbye.